Huge event over the weekend for Disney, a two-day event at the Hollywood Bowl.
Best venue in town.
Absolutely. And that legendary venue was where they put on a live version of The Lion King, live musical performances of The Lion King.
Huge stars performed. Jeremy Irons, Jennifer Hudson,
Billy Eichner, Nathan Lane. They were all on stage, but there's only one actor that everyone's talking about when it's all said and done, and that would be Northwest.
Yep, 10-year-old.
Who played young Simba, performing one song in particular, which we're going to play a little clip of it here. But the reason that she is the person they're talking about is not necessarily because they think she's phenomenal. In fact, it's kind of the opposite. But here is a little bit of North performing one of the biggest songs from Lion King.
Everybody look like, everybody look like, everybody look like, this is my life, yeah. I just can't wait to be
So there are people who say that she is not up to the caliber of what else was going on stage. And then there are people saying maybe so, but there's a reason she's on stage. And the reason does involve nepotism, but it involves publicity because we're talking about it right now.
Absolutely. But is that a good move?
That's the question.
Yeah. Well, we're going to get into that with our buddy Marc Lamont Hill, professor at City University of New York, but a guy who's just plugged into pop culture in general.
He is.
And he's joining us right now. Marc, welcome back to TMZ Live.
Hey,
How
Marc.
you doing, man?
Hey, good to see you guys.
It is good seeing you. So, your thoughts on, look, we know it's nepotism, right? I mean, it's definitely nepotism.
Everyone knew that when they announced
Of course.
that she was going to be in the role.
But
actually, they didn't even tell us what role she was doing.
So let's make that the predicate. What say you about it?
Well, it is nepotism, but it's a little more complicated than that. Number one, and number two, I'm so tired of people being hypocritical. Let me start with why it's more complicated than that. In every movie, every play, every domain of pop culture, somebody casts somebody who's not that good or who's maybe as good as everybody else, but not extraordinary. I'm not dissing Northwest.
Yeah.
I didn't see the performance. My point is just to say, we put rappers in movies for the last 30 years. We put all kinds of people in plays for the 30 years. Remember the Color Purple a couple of decades ago on Broadway? There were random people there. And the reason we do it is because people are famous and famous people bring in tickets, as you guys alluded to. Northwest is actually famous. They didn't pick like Kim Kardashian's third cousin. They picked somebody who's on reality TV, who has a TikTok presence. She is actually a famous person. And I'm old enough to remember when people said Kim Kardashian was famous for being famous and she wasn't a legit star and doesn't deserve a platform. Now all of a sudden they're saying she's the real star and her kid's not. Come on, knock it off. And a lot of the people who are complaining about doing that are the same people that want legacy admissions for their kids. I'll tell you one thing. I went to Penn, and my kid, if my kid wanted to go to Penn, she ended up going somewhere else, but she wanted to go to Penn because I went to Penn, that's fine. She's talented, but she gets a leg up. Why? Just because of who I am. Same thing with you guys. If you all went to Harvard, Yale, wherever, you'd want your kid to go there. And everybody does the same thing. Everybody wants their kid to get the hookup, but then they get mad when it's a Kardashian or a West getting the hookup.
But okay, but hold on,
Yeah.
hold on. It's so funny because you said that, there are a lot of stars who do this who aren't necessarily talented. It's funny because this weekend I just happened to watch Trainwreck, and LeBron was really good in it. So he was a star, and that's why he was cast. But he was also like shockingly good in it. So do you still have to have a level of talent? And I'm not saying Northwest does or doesn't.
But there are a lot of people who are saying she
A lot of people who say she doesn't.
Right.
But, given all that, do you still have to have that level of talent, even if it's nepotism?
Again, so LeBron was shockingly good. He was shockingly good for a 6'8" small forward.
No, he was.
Yes.
Marc,
you were judging
I thought he was
Harvey,
really
but you have
good.
to understand that you're judging him based on, you're looking at him as LeBron James, the basketball superstar, and you're going, oh,
I thought he was
He can
great.
actually do
I'm
this.
sorry.
well delivered.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just like if you watch a celebrity basketball game, you might say, Mark has some decent ball handling skills. Not for a pro, just
Right,
for a
right.
professor. So like that's the thing. So all these celebrities are getting extra nods, getting extra opportunities. I think we're being selective in our outrage. Again, if we only casted people and hired people based on their pure talent, there's always somebody in the open casting call that could beat LeBron James, and that there's always somebody who could outdance, outsing, outact, out whatever somebody else who happens to be famous. I'm not mad at that. I mean, like every single person in America uses the network they have to get their kids something. that they
No, I mean,
otherwise
it's true.
Yes,
I mean,
they do.
We got this thing off our looks, so I totally get what you're saying. No, I do. You know?
Charles, I believe.
Wow. Wow, that was an unnecessary shot, Mark.
Oh, it was a perfect shot.
Jeez.
It was a perfect shot.
Oh.
Yeah. This is, by the way, Mark, what would you do if you're Kim, though, or Kanye, and now, North is going to see some of this criticism? How do you explain it to her? What do you say to her as a young performer breaking into showbiz?
That one, you have to have thick skin. Use the Blue Ivy example. There were haters online who used Beyonce's internet to bash a kid, and the kid said, look, I'm gonna get better. And when you looked at the end of that tour, by the time she was back at the end of the tour, Blue Ivy bodied that performance. So if people are talking trash saying you don't deserve it, use that as a fuel. I grew up with Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant, we used to tease him too. You know what I mean? Middle school, high school, like, he's all right, but he ain't that good. His dad is just a Sixer. His dad was just a pro. Turned out he was pretty damn good at basketball. He didn't use the Nepo baby thing, which is what Kobe had, as a shield. So use those examples. You know what I mean?
But you can't use that in sports.
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the one area where nepotism doesn't work in sports.
Because you have to be able to do it.
You have to be able to do it.
Ronnie James. Sorry.
Well,
Wow.
But he hasn't got. But he hasn't arrived yet.
Yeah, but they're already talking. We're getting off.
I
The
know.
kid averaged 4 points in college, and we're talking about him getting drafted. I mean, I hope he makes it. I hope he thrives. But I'm just saying, just getting the he killed the combines. He did a great job. Shout out to Bronny James. But he's in the room because his dad's really good at basketball, and that's amazing. I got a kid at an Ivy League university right now, Harvey, and I promise in 2 years she's gonna call your handsome self, and she's gonna ask you for an intern job.
Oh, you're
Now
just
you're handsome.
you're
Now you're handsome.
digging yourself
Now
out of
you're
a hole
handsome.
now. All of a sudden, I'm handsome. Oh no. Okay, Mark.
Oh,
I
Mark.
would- I
man.
swear to God, we'd like to have you on every day and just talk about whatever you want to talk about. It's just so compelling. We love having you on, man.
Love you guys too, man.
All right, man.